What's going on? I hope you're having a great day. We got another developer update, and like the last update, we got some pretty interesting stuff involving a system. This time it's the revamped crafting system coming to build 42. But before we talk about that, let's talk about some house cleaning. The stable build for patch 41.73 should be out later this week. There was a huge streamer event and the devs really just didn't want to release the stable build during the event, but it should be out this week. The devs also continue to expand upon the music. They want to have the music be reactive to the player's actions even outside of combat, and that's what they're doing now. The last thing to talk about before the crafting system is the future of multiplayer. The major thing being implemented to the multiplayer is Anticheat. The devs have acknowledged that this probably won't get rid of all cheaters, but they want to unincentivize cheating. Okay, that was a quick wrap up about everything outside of the new crafting system, so let's talk about the new crafting system. We got a real look into some of the crafting trees, professions, and new items coming to the game. There are 10 new professions coming to the game, each with their own crafting tree. Along with these changes, there will also be new workbench stations which you will have to use to create certain items in the respective crafting tree. Items from one crafting tree might need to be combined with items from another crafting tree, incentivizing players to work together instead of working against each other. Players who also play single player will also be able to craft a variety of items, even if the items required will be in another crafting tree. The goal is to make the mid to late game more interesting, to have crafting be in-depth and engaging, but not to have it feel grimy, so the devs are trying to find a nice balance while they put everything together. The last thing I want to do is look at the crafting trees the devs shared with us. The first tree really shows us no details, but it serves to show us how many crafting trees there are and how expansive these trees will be. Since there's really not much to see here, let's move on to the next tree. Here we see the crafting tree for a bow maker, so we can say with pretty good certainty that a bow maker will be one of the professions coming to the game. Also, bows and bow related items will also come to the game. I'm not going to go through the whole tree, but I'm just going to point out some interesting stuff. The first thing the bow maker can do is obviously craft bows. Using some materials that will most likely come from another crafting tree, the bow maker can also make crossbows. We see that beeswax is an important crafting item, so that will most likely come to the game. Also, feathers are important, so they'll probably come to the game in the form of looting them from a dead bird or chicken. Here we can see that you can make arrows using an arrow shaft, feathers, and a flint, iron, or steel arrowhead. The interesting thing here is that these will come from other crafting trees, again incentivizing cooperation instead of competition. That's it for the bow maker, so let's move on to another tree. This is the stoneworker's crafting tree, meaning that we'll probably most likely get a stoneworker profession. But let's look at some of the items you can craft. Starting to the far left, you'll be able to make salt and possibly use it to preserve food if the devs add in a way to preserve food using salt. The stoneworker can also make plaster, and since this is a recipe, if you don't choose the stoneworker profession, there may be a book you have to read in order to get this recipe, thus expanding the project's onboard library. In the middle here, we can see that the stoneworker can make flint arrowheads, which, as we just talked about, is used in the recipe to craft arrows. The stoneworker can also make cement, concrete, and bricks, meaning that we'll have more building materials rather than just wood or metal. But that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm really excited for the next major build coming to the game, as it will add in a lot of new and interesting systems. But I want to know, what are you most interested in this next major build? Is it the crafting? Is it finally having some NPCs back into the game? Is it having animals that you can actually take care of? Or is it something else completely different? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you want to read about this week's update, I'll leave a link to the post in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.